In Strive, the lab, it's going to be your best friend. You're a beginner player, intermediate, expert, doesn't matter. You're going to want to be here a lot, especially if you're having trouble with like very specific characters. Some of the best players are here all the time, right? That's because it just has so many options. It's so versatile. You can do everything here, right? And, let's just look at it, right? We go to training settings. First thing we're going to do is look at opponent status. And the most important thing probably is maybe the block setting, right? So if you want to test combos, make sure that they actually work, especially grounding combos. Make sure that they can't just get blocked out of. You want to do guard after first hit, right? And now we can see if a combo actually lands. That looked good. Here, that looks good. See, if we wait too long though, he'll block, right? So now we know we have to be fast with this, right? Way too long, he's gonna block. Now we're being fast enough, but we go boom. Now he's not blocking it. Do too fast, he tumbles away. Right, so you can practice the nuances of your combos. Really important. But we also have, all guard, which is really good because you want to see what whiffs, right? You're like, okay, that looks good, but at certain ranges, this is gonna whiff, right? You want to know, you want to get a feeling for when it's gonna whiff. And it's easiest to do it in here, right? Because you could just spam it over and over again. Where in a real match, you can't do that. You whiff it, you might get punished. You might not be back to this position for minutes. Second most important probably is like their stance, right? Jumping, crouch, standing. There's certain combos that only work out jumping people. Also, you have anti-air combos, right? So you want to practice actually hitting someone in the air. And so let's put them on guard after first hit. We can try out, an anti-air combo. Cool, right? And next, usually anti-air combos come off of a counter hit, right? So let's put on counter hit. We'll see in the top left, it'll say counter, right? And even if we have big moves like that, we'll get the big counter, right? And now we can test out if the combo works on counter hit, right? And it does, right? Another thing here, block switching, which is really important in combination with having it on probably something like all guard and choosing which stance, crouching or standing you want them to be in. So if we have block switching disabled, even if it's on all guard, the guy can't switch what direction there's blocking, right? So he is just blocking low, and I can hit him with highs here, even though it's on all guard. So maybe we want to try something like this. Like that, right? Where we're getting... It's not really a true mix-up, but if they don't react to it, we can mess them up, right? So we want to practice that. And if he's on all guard, he's going to block this, right? We're going to try to practice this whole thing. Boom, boom, boom. Like that, right? Okay, nice. And so that's really how we test that, to see if that's going to work properly. Yeah, this is like if they have a bad habit of blocking it low, right? And if they have a bad habit of blocking high, or a lot of people do, let's put them on standing, block switch disable, right? Let's go boom, boom, boom. Okay, we can get him tripped up. And so this character isn't the best example because Soul isn't really like a high-low mix of character. Really important on characters like Zato, right? And Emilia. And you could try messing with different block types, right? So you want to see what happens when they instant block something, right? Maybe it makes it more likely for you to get a grab. This is +3. Pretty likely you'll get a grab here, right? If you wait the right amount of time. Ball is defense. You want to see what happens when they push you farther away. Maybe you need to run back in. Maybe like that heavy slash whiffs sometimes. A lot of times it doesn't, but if you're really far away, it might like here. Whiffed, right? Important to know that stuff. So you're like, okay, if they have D, maybe I'm not going to do heavy slash again, right? Maybe I'll do slash again. Maybe I'll do a run-up approach. Maybe I'll do nothing, right? So it's about learning that stuff. We could have this on random too, right? So you can learn to react what's happening. Okay, if he just blocked, right, I'm supposed to go for a grab. Right there, he just FD'd, which is whack, right? That's got you in a whole different type of scenario. If you're just blocked, there he FD'd, so maybe I want to run up. You could just practice it, right? These you probably don't want to mess with too much, right? Especially wall break and stagger recovery, because you want them to feel like how they are in the normal game. Because if you have wall break on like instant wall stick, your combos are going to feel really weird. You're not going to be hitting them the way you want. when you want. Like what? Like I'm supposed to get, you know, boom, up, you know, more stuff out of that. So you really just want to keep this normal, same with stagger recovery, just so that the game feels right. Next, you know, is the gauge settings. These aren't that important, but you know, say you want to see if X, Y, and Z combo together kill somebody, you know, you could turn off HP regeneration. That's really all there is to this. Resetting the position, important, right? Go to button settings. There's 3 really important buttons for this. For the training mode, we have play, record, and reset position. And so reset position, I've set to my back button, just does what it says, right? No matter what's happening, resets the position, go back to normal, back to the neutral state. And there's a few things you can do with this button. If you do it and press up, you'll actually switch sides, right? So you want to practice your combos from right to left instead of left to right. Come here, do that. Pretty easy to do. And if you press to the left or right, you'll actually go to the corner. And you'll notice that once you do this, every other time you press it, you're back where you are, even if you switch position, right? And which is really important, because if you want to be practicing a combo out of the corner, maybe, you know, you're trying to get them back into a combo like this, where you get them back to the other corner, right? It's important that when you reset, that you're back here, right? So that you know what's happening. So you don't have to go back to the middle and push them all the way over. It takes a bunch of time. And to get back to the middle, we press down and back, right? Or back to the middle. We're good. That's all that really matters about the back button. And now the play and record button. So we don't actually have to use these buttons. We can go into record settings right here. And we can select a slot, right? We can save records, load records, record start time. You probably want this one to start immediately. Start slightly late. There's these, and there's also play after position reset, which could be really important if you want to learn how to counter certain like starting options. But usually we can just keep it like this, we'll be okay. We can change the slot. So actually, let's clear the slots real fast. Yeah, and you see on the right it says training dummy slot 1. So if we press our recording button, it's going to change to recording standby, and you'll see we have control on Nago now. Now that we have control on Nago, you know, we can press all of his buttons, we can do all of his shit. Oh, also, if you press the reset position button, it'll take you back to the training dummy. So, we're here, recording standby, and if we click the record button again, it'll start actually recording our movements, so we can record some inputs, right? Press it again, it'll save. So now when we click the play button while it says training dummy slot 1, now what we just saved is slot 1 will play, right? It played, right? You got us, okay? This is really good, right? Because you can practice doing, okay, what do I have to do in this scenario? I jump, it worked, right? What if I want to go for heavy slash? Okay, it looked like it worked. And so now you know, right? You know what you can do. Say, okay, we want to try this. How do we deal with this? We do slash, we get punished, right? Success. Okay, look, we countered. Nah, this is the power of the recording mode, right? Or the training mode. So we can record these things and practice exactly what we need to do for very specific scenarios when you're on the defensive. Recording's especially good for when you're on defensive. So nice. Now we know that. And so if we click the record button, we can switch between these slots by clicking the play button. See that last slot random? Really important because it'll randomly switch between them. Say, you know, you want to be reacting to a certain scenario. So let's say this one is, okay, let's do this. Teleport in, right? Oh, we didn't save it. Right? So now we have this, where he just boom, boom, teleport in, grab. And we have, oops. And we have this. Teleport away, slash. And so you can kind of react to Nago's teleports. It is a bit hard to react to them going back, but you can react to them when going forward. So we'll click the record button and we'll go to random. And as you might expect, it randomly switches between them. There's that one. There's that one. And this is good for scenarios where we want to learn how to react, right? So I want to be reacting to his teleport in. Look at that, I reacted with 5k, right? He teleported away, I'm not going to do anything. His teleport away is pretty fast, right? It's much faster than his going. Look at that. Yeah, his going is 25 frames. You know, it's enough time to react. We got a nice punish off of it, right? You know, other characters might not have an option like Soul, so you go for a grab like that we claimed. See, I win if I'm actually fast enough, right? Oh, he was away. I messed up. Go. Oh, I'm messing up, right? You clang. And, you know, you can just sit here and grind your reactions. Really, really good. Really strong. And, you know, just for general, like, figuring out what to do to get out of a string really helps you. Which is really important to know. And now, for being on the offensive, we have counterattack settings, right? This after block one being especially important. So let's have Nago do his crouching P, right? So Soul's whole thing, right, is his slash spam, right? This slash, 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 slash. You actually see Nago gets out of it with this, right? So I'm thinking he's gonna do this, right? How do I punish him for doing this? Going to heavy slash? That just beats block, right? But I can't, right? We delay. Look at that. Delay. We actually punish him for going for a move, right? But if we do this, he doesn't even have enough time to go for a move. We see because he's trying to do it after block. It literally can't happen. So it's important to like see this, right? So if you do this too fast, you're like, I'm getting the read. Why am I not getting the punish? Just because you're not, it's literally not able to happen. Do this delay. It's hard to get this timing right. Look at that. But if we do too long, we're going to get hit. It's also kind of lenient actually once you get used to it, but it's important to know and learn that, right? And then you have other scenarios. Say they're jumping a lot. How do we deal with this, right? So the counterattack settings, jump. Okay, he just jumped out. I can grab him, right? Maybe you're like, you know, he's just jumping. He's not trying to jump and press a button. Like this might not be as real as it feels. So to test this, what we're gonna do, alright settings, you can see we can set this to custom, right? We press X to record. And once that red bar goes down, we can record something. So let's go. Let's do jump grab, right? And then safety counterattack one. Nice. Now let's see. See, we can see that we're clanging now, right? Which isn't bad. But it's not ideal either. And if we actually mess it up a little bit, we might get grabbed. Well, if we're fast enough, we're grabbing him, right? And grab is the fastest option in the game, right? So, we know if we're fast enough, we just beat him there, right? Look at that. That's good to know. We just beat him if he tries to grab there. Okay, no, maybe he doesn't grab, he backdashes. You can go try that out, see what works, right? Do a custom input if you need to. Really good. And then we also have, you know, after hit, after recovery. And so after hit, or after recovery is an important one, right? So say he does a throw. You know what, yeah, let's say he does throw. So we're going to try to meaty him, right? So if we knock him down, when he gets up, he's going to throw. That's what after recovery means. So meaties, if you don't know, will beat get up moves. Like if you hit a button and it comes out right as they stand up, it'll beat the throw. So, oh, there, it's too late, right? Got the counter hit. I beat him, right? You can learn how to time these, right? If you have an opponent that's grabbing you a lot when they wake up, you gotta come in here and just figure out how to hit the button at the right time, right? And it can be really hard. And so, you know, you can just be like, okay, what if I try to grab them? You can start learning, right? Oh, if we do this entirely, we clang. What if I go for a command grab? Oh, does he just beat me? If I do this, overhead. Oh, overhead wins. You can start to learn, right? And so, you know, saving for jumping a lot. You know, how do I deal with this? Oh, I literally just hit them. It's just not a counter hit, right? And that's like everything. This is the big stuff. Okay, say after recovery, let's do after hit, after block, let's do throw. Say playing song like I love Bandit Bringer. This shit is barely minus, but they just keep throwing me out of it, right? If I do it too close. What can you do? Can you do nothing? Alright, can you jump? Okay, backdash? No. If they're perfect, you're screwed for landing this, right? So now you know. You gotta, but you tried, right? That's the part where you sat here and you're like, okay, let's see what happens. I'm just getting grabbed every time. I'm trying to backdash. I'm trying to jump. If they instantly do this, you're screwed, right? What if you're a little bit farther away? Doesn't hit, they miss, right? But, you know, that's hard. So now you know, don't do this shit that close on a good opponent, right? Because they're going to block. And they're going to grab you. So like, okay, maybe not that move. And it just gives you more knowledge to work with, really. That's what this is all about. You see, the training mode's so great because you can try literally anything. You can learn everything about every character here. That's why it's so strong. And say, you know, you're getting beat up in neutral a lot, right? You want to figure out how to beat a specific move. That's literally the easiest thing to do. Come here, have it record, you know, step back to where you want to be doing it from. Start spamming the move that you're having trouble with, right? Yeah, I'm having trouble with this move. Do it. Okay. How am I going to deal with this? Let's try a few things. So, when we punish off reaction. Okay. If we want to see if we want to see if we can punish off reaction, he needs to be blocking. He needs to be blocking afterwards, right? Start blocking afterwards. I gotta punish, right? But that doesn't really seem reactable. Can I react to that? He blocked, right? And I knew it was coming and trying to react. So let's just see, you know, if preemptively. Preemptively, can I do it? So we click play and then do our thing. Okay, that option didn't work. We gotta wait a little bit, right? Then we do. We get a punish, right? Let's see what else we have. Can we do this? That's punish. Okay, if I'm close enough, I could do that. But if I'm this far and I try to run up success, try to run up slash. Okay, if I do run up slash, I'm actually gonna get it, right? But if I'm real far, I'm not gonna hit that, right? I'm gonna get counter hit. But if I'm real far, go for this. That's still gonna hit. Real far, go for this. That's still gonna hit, right? Right, different ranges. Maybe get his blood meter up. See how it works. You can test this against all of his neutral options, right? This one, and a lot of people have issue with this. You can test it with that. It's like, oh, that outranges it. Oh, I can air dash in, get a punish. And, you know, that's really just what you can do. These are only some of the things you could do, right? And because the most important part about the fighting game is knowing what's actually happening, and the training mode lets you know what's actually happening, and then you can understand how to deal with it too, right? You don't have to have someone tell you. You can just sit here and figure out your own shit. Like, maybe it's not the most optimal thing, right? But you have it until you eventually learn a better way. You know, maybe you see somebody do some sick shit against you. Like, say like this, I figured this shit out because I was spamming fucking Bandit Bringer all the way up to heaven. Then some homie started throwing me out of it, and I was like, what the fuck? Right? And you're like, oh, I just can't do this shit against certain people. Right? I have to RC, right? If I want something to happen from here. So that's why you just go and lab. You can learn anything you need to know, right? And you practice your combos. It's probably what most people are going to use it for, especially at first. But it's so much more than that. You know, there's so much you can do here. You can learn the whole game in lab, really, with what Guilty Gear Strive is giving you. So do it. Learn and make your way up to heaven.